Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Bullony Basketball. As you can see, I got a very special guest by my side today, none other than Logix, another NBA content creator. How's it going, my man?
Doing good. And for people who always watch my videos, they know how my intro goes. As always, like the goddamn video.
Exactly. We got a lot to talk about today, including your LA Lakers, which should be interesting. But I want to start off with talking about some of these new old faces back in the NBA. Like a lot of these guys, at one point they were maybe the best or second best player on their team long time ago, and now we're seeing them. They're not really getting that opportunity, but at least seeing them back in the NBA is pretty cool. So, guys like Joe Johnson or Brandon Knight, for example. Like, what do you think of some of these guys getting another chance?
Well, some of them, for a while, they've been deserving of it. Like Joe Johnson, I remember watching him in the Big Three for like 2 years now, and he was on a whole different league there, and I think it's big, and he's been deserving of that chance in Boston.
Yeah, I think he was I think the two-time MVP in the Big Three, correct? I know he won
Yeah,
it the first year. I can't remember if he won it like his most recent one, but yeah, I mean, so far he's only played one game. Like we'll see if he stays, but and I even remember like the Pistons, signed him after
yeah.
the first year that he was like in the Big Three, and everyone thought like, oh, he's back, but not quite. Now he's officially back. But we'll see about that. I guess what are your thoughts on maybe a guy like Isaiah Thomas, who he was obviously on your Lakers for the 10-day contract. They decided not to bring him back, and now Shams and Woj are reporting he's going to sign with the Mavericks now. So what do you think
Yeah, I
about
just
that?
saw that. I think he definitely needs to be on the team because he's someone you can't necessarily plan for. He kind of go off the script. You can't go into the game for the Mavs. You can't go into the game stopping Luca. And if Isaiah Thomas wants to, put work on the court, there's nothing you can really do. Especially if he's really feeling himself. And he's been working hard all summer. I remember seeing videos of him working out, and yeah, he's been deserving of this chance for a while. And I mean, I hate to see the Lakers not bring him back, but I knew it was gonna happen. LeBron's dropped him off like 3, 4 times so far.
Yeah, let GM at its finest is what they say.
Yeah, so
But
that was never gonna happen.
But no, I mean, I thought he played pretty well his first two games with the Lakers. I think the third game is kind of what started going bad. I believe that might have been against my Bulls, where he shot pretty bad
Yeah,
against. And then like the last game, he just didn't really get much of an opportunity. But I mean, like this guy, he was top five in MVP at one point. And Joe Johnson, he's like a seven-time All Star. I think
yeah.
also guys like Greg Monroe, he had a big game with Minnesota. Brandon Knight, who's also with Dallas right now, kind of with Luca out. And it's good for him because, like, he's always like one of the biggest memes in NBA history.
Yeah.
Um, guys like Collison, Darren Collison, Lance Stevenson, Emmanuel Mudiay. I want to see Ersan Ilyasova. Like my Bulls signed into a
Oh
10-day
yeah.
contract, but he hasn't played yet. So I hope he at least plays once. Um, but now, like, I don't know. Did you have any other like final thoughts about some of these guys getting another chance?
The funny thing with Brandon Knight is it's crazy because like he's not even like old. He's like I looked up the other day. He's like 30 years old. So,
Yeah,
but he's just been on like every team. So yeah,
right.
it's crazy to see some of these people like I grew up watching, and then now they're considered like like veterans now.
Exactly. Like I think he was drafted the same year as guys like I think Kyrie and like Kawhi and
Yeah,
stuff, and like those guys are still seen as like great players. Um,
yeah, he was on the I think it was 2014 or 2013, the what's called for the All Star game, the for the rookies and sophomores.
yeah,
He
and
was
then
he was he was on
Kyrie kind of
that.
got him.
I
um,
remember that.
but yeah, if you want, we can move on. We could talk about the big topic for the day,
Yeah,
and that is your LA Lakers.
yeah,
Recently they've been struggling. They went on a five-game losing streak. They did just beat the Rockets the other day, though. Although I think that was probably even closer than it should have been. But
Mhm.
I mean, let me know as a Laker fan, Like what have you been seeing like from the Lakers? And like, do you think maybe this team might need to be broken up by the deadline or something?
No, the last thing I want to see him do is break it up. But the number one thing they definitely miss Anthony Davis because the last 3 games they had LeBron playing the center because Dwight Howard he's done on defense. He's done at least. Like he's so slow. He can't get back on defense. Yeah, he's just a good shot blocker. That's pretty much it on defense at this point. So that's why they've been having LeBron. But I know last year, I remember I saw the stat. Last year they were, or not last year, 2020 in the bubble, they were like eighth in protecting the paint, opponents' points in the paint, and then this year they're like 28th. So the number one thing is defense, and their defensive anchor Anthony Davis he's out, so they have LeBron filling in for him, and LeBron he could do it all, but he can't play center long term.
Right. And I think they even said on I think they're like ranked ninth in defensive rating right now, and I was like,
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like that at all because like
nah.
the Lakers defense has just not been what it has been over the past few years. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think some of the things, I mean, you said Anthony Davis, obviously they're not going to be as good without him, but I think at the same time, like, I don't know, like, it just didn't seem like he's been playing as motivated this year as he should have been. Like, I feel like sometimes, like, he kind of hangs too much around the perimeter, and I think statistically he's having, like, one of the worst, like, jump shooting years ever by people that qualify.
Yeah,
So it's like, I feel like you got to get down low. I've seen other Laker fans, one of my other guests on the show, Clutch Talk, um, he was talking about it too. He's like, I hate when AD just like chills out on the perimeter when he could dominate inside if he wants to. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, and I think it is important to note though that like I feel like there's a lot of things with the Lakers. I know LeBron has been great, but at the same time, like he did ask for this team. You know what I mean? Like because
yeah.
of that tweet that he put out like at the beginning of the season, which has since been deleted. But I don't know. It's like
Mm.
maybe that looks like a little bit bad right now. And then also the big thing, I think the guy that's getting the most criticism is Russell Westbrook and like how he fits on this
Yeah,
team. Like we know he's going to be like a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's obviously was a top 75 anniversary team member, but at the same time, it's just like how does it fit necessarily with LeBron and with AD, and to an extent, like I think it even like hurts some of these other guys like THT, who is kind of getting a lesser role than what
yeah,
he did before. Um, but yeah, like I mean, we know like we've seen this before, like with LeBron-led teams that he's not going to be afraid to put his opinion to the front office to like see who he wants to get out there. We saw with the Cavs in 2018 where D Wade was gone, D Rose was gone, IT was gone. That was the first one that we were talking about
yeah.
there. So like I think that I wouldn't count it out. But again, like it's just a matter of what people think. Like if they think that they can make it work themselves with some of these other guys. I know the trade market's been kind of low for uh, Westbrook recently, so we'll have to see. But yeah, I don't know. Like, do you want to comment on any of that or?
Yeah, about a trade. The thing is, I don't. There's no trade right now that they can do that will make them better later on. Like if they trade for Ben Simmons, it's a decent trade, but it's not gonna make them that much better. And the thing about their roster is like this is LeBron said in the beginning of season two. This is gonna be a work in progress. Like I think the only players returning from last year who actually get playing time is just LeBron, Anthony Davis, who's been hurt, and then THT. Everyone else is brand new. So yeah, it's gonna be like at least a 3-4 month long process before they can actually win 3-4 games in a row. And plus, a lot of these guys are old too, so it
Yeah,
they have a lot against them.
and it's interesting you said that too, because like I mean last year like Dwight was in Philly, Rondo was on like the Clippers and the Hawks and
Yeah.
stuff, but now that they're back, it doesn't seem like they have the same drive either. Because
Mm-hmm.
I mean Rondo obviously and Dwight they were both on the team that won 2 years ago, so I feel like now they're kind of content with where they're at. Um, and I personally thought that with Rondo, especially last year with the Clippers. But I think you're seeing it as well with Dwight. Like, I mean, you even said. Um, but yeah, we could talk about a team that's been playing pretty well recently. the Oklahoma City Thunder. So
Oh yeah.
they've gone 6-4 in their last 10 games, beating teams like the Nuggets, the Grizzlies. They beat the Clippers on that game winner from Shea, and then they almost came back against the Suns. So I guess like, what have you been seeing from OKC over the past few games?
Number one thing is Shy. He's he's probably a superstar in the future, at least. Like he's been amazing. I think he's averaging like almost 30 points the last 6, 7 games they've been on the streak. Him and then Josh Giddey. He's not a great scorer, but he fits perfectly because you have a whole bunch of other young scorers around you. What's his name? Lou Dort. He's another good guy. But Josh Giddey, he fits perfect. He's fast in transition. He makes the right passes. He plays good defense. So I think he's been one of the most important pieces because he does all the little things around the other young guys. And like I said, they're a young team, so they got energy to go up and down the court. Something that a lot of the other older teams they don't necessarily have. So I think that's been one of the biggest things in their winning streak. What do you say? They win like 6-4 the past 10 games.
Yeah, in the last 10. But yeah, I mean, like, I feel like, yeah, we all know that Shea is like the best player at the Thunder, and he's been playing great. He just won Player of the Week with Kemba, I believe.
Yeah,
But like you mentioned, Josh Giddey, like he's probably one of their better, if not maybe their best, like true playmaker. And he doesn't
yeah,
always do things like scoring. In a way, it could be like kind of like Draymond. I think the other night he had like a double double, but he didn't score at all. Like he had 0 points.
He had zero. Yeah, 0 points.
So I mean, like he's very capable of doing just about everything out there. Lou Dort, like I think the main calling card, like to him that put him on notice was that series against Harden in the bubble, right? And its defense,
Yeah,
and then that especially
defense.
that game 7. But he's starting to become a solid offensive player. I think he had the longest or the second longest streak of games with at least one 3-pointer made behind Curry right
Yeah,
now. So it's like, and you wouldn't really think that because, like we know him for his defense. Guys like
yeah,
Aaron Wiggins and Jeremiah Robinson Earl, like these guys have
yeah.
been
The other
playing.
rookie.
Yeah, and they're both young too, and they've been playing pretty good. They've been playing kind of like how the Grizzlies were like a few weeks ago, and they're kind of still playing like that. But how they started a few weeks ago when they lost Ja and seemed like they were playing like the most motivated team in the league. That's kind of like what I'm seeing with the Thunder right now. And if it keeps up, like all these guys are young. Like who knows really like how good they could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They definitely got a lot of young talent there. And I forgot to mention him. Robinson Earl. He's pretty good. Not a lot of people are talking about him. I understand why. I think he was a late first rounder or second rounder, I think. But
Uh,
he's been pretty solid for them.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, I think it's just gonna be a matter of, like, we know how many picks like they got from like the Clippers and the
Yeah.
Rockets. Like, if they can keep adding like onto this, like with players of this caliber, or players that perform at this level, like they're probably just gonna be like loaded. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
I think with all the picks though, one of the things about like a lot of young teams is you can't stack too much young talent or more young talent because at the end of the day you're gonna have to pay all these guys. Some of them are gonna want to be their own star. So with all the picks they got, they should definitely make some kind of trade and get a star or something because you're not gonna draw one in to OKC.
yeah,
So
and I mean,
yeah, I think they should do that.
OKC knows that well enough, like with the whole James Harden thing that happened like about a decade ago. Um,
Yeah.
but uh, we can move on. We could talk about a few players that have had some injuries. One of them is my guy D Rose. It was looking so good. Nobody even talking about his injuries recently. Because he was pretty healthy for a few years now.
Yeah.
But now he's gonna have ankle surgery. Gonna miss like 6 to 8 weeks. He should return sometime this season, probably like around All Star break or right after. Um, but I mean, like, how much of a blow do you think this is for the Knicks, who, right now they're sitting, I believe, at the 10 seed, and they've been struggling like a lot of the year. So what do you think?
Well, two things really. For Derrick Rose, it completely sucks. I mean, when you're as explosive as a guy as him, stuff like this is gonna happen a lot, and it just sucks to see because you see him, he works, gets back on the court, looks like he's getting his rhythm and, is playing great, and then another injury. So just all the setbacks he's had, it just sucks to see. But as far for the Knicks, even though I think they're like around 500, I don't think it's necessarily over for them because they're going to have to find another route of winning. Because right now, they're relying heavily on just playing great defense. And that might have worked like 30 years from now. But today, you need offensive firepower. And recently, Kemba's been showing that.
Yeah.
Beginning of the season, he was, averaging like 12 points. Now he's playing like an all-star again. They're going to need Julius Randle to step up because he's just playing like another solid role player. He's not playing like the all-star he was last year. And then the other bench guys, there's one guy I was watching the other day. For his first name, but his last name's Grimes.
Yeah, Quinn Grimes.
Really good. Yeah, him. He's a good sharpshooter. He's been playing good, so they're gonna have to force themselves to step up and play around the role Derrick Rose had, because Derrick Rose, he played big minutes for them. So it's either they step up or they might separate this team come before All-Star break. But I don't think they want to do that.
Yeah, I think especially Quinn Grimes and Miles McBride are probably like the two young guys that are going to get more opportunity. I mean, I think with how the Knicks have been playing for a majority of the season, like it is a pretty big blow. I mean, I know like you could look at the stats and be like, oh, well, it's Randall, but personally for me, like I mean, I've watched a lot of the Knicks games this year, and Rose he just looks like the most consistent and the best player on the
Yeah,
team. He has the
he's
highest,
important for them. Yeah.
yeah, the highest plus minus, like one of the highest BPMs, most efficient player, like one of the most efficient players in the team. Like it's just hard to overcome. Now, if Kemba Walker like keeps playing at this high level, kind of looking like the Kemba that we remember like in Charlotte and maybe the first year of Boston, then it probably won't be as big of a loss as people think. Um, but at the same time, like I don't know, like we're gonna have to see like if that holds true. I know he had a great game. I think he dropped like 41 against I think it was the Wizards.
Yeah, a
But
couple nights ago. Yeah.
yeah, and then I think he followed that up shooting like 3 for 12 the next game. So there's gonna need to be some consistency there because that's another thing. Rose was probably the most consistent player all year for
Yeah.
them. Like at this point, I've kind of lost faith in Julius Randle. I just think that he's gonna be kind of like what we thought he was before last season. Like he's not bad. Like he could get his numbers and everything like that, but I just don't think that he's that guy. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just think last year might have been like a little bit of a fluke, and I don't really want to say that, but I don't know. Like a lot of Knicks fans have been kind of harsh on him. So maybe I'm fine in saying that. But yeah, I think it's definitely a big blow. The only way that they could probably be good, like for the several weeks without him, is if Kemba, keeps playing at this high level. Um, but the good thing is that I think they do have a few easy games. Like I think they play the Thunder and the Pistons next, but then in January, like their schedule like gets a little harder. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know. Like, do you have anything else to add there?
They just need firepower on offenses. They don't have, other than Kemba, who's only been doing it the last 2 weeks. No one else out there, if you ask them to get you 30, could actually get you 30. Derrick
Yeah,
Rose could possibly do that, but Julius Randle, you can't rely on that. Kemba's really the only one. They just don't have like offensive scoring really, and today you're gonna need to at least score 105, 110 to keep up with other teams, especially in the East now, because the East they look tough right now.
right. And I think a big blow is like signing Evan Fournier to that contract, and he's been
Oh
really
yeah,
bad. So
yeah,
it
he's been
seemed
terrible.
like adding him and Kemba is going to add so much to the offense. He's been really inconsistent, and like I said, like Kemba, like he's been better recently, but you even said like early in the year, like he wasn't playing to the
Yeah.
Kemba that we know. But yeah, we could move on. We could talk about another injury that is going to be critical, and it is Paul George, who tore his UCL, which is interesting because I honestly didn't know what a UCL was. Like
Yeah,
ACL, MCL. I'm like, what's a
I
UCL?
assumed there was something in the leg or something.
That's what I was thinking. But apparently he's going to be reevaluated in about 3 to 4 weeks, so basically a month. But in that time without him, like we already know they don't have Kawhi Leonard. What do you think this is going to do for the Clippers?
Uh, Clippers, I think they're done. I think at least for this year, they're done because people want to knock Paul George, but Paul George he did his job. He kept them above 500 while Kawhi was out, so he did his part. Paul George was playing like an MVP, but now without Paul George, I mean they just have a mediocre roster. Like Eric Bledsoe, Marcus Morris, like these guys aren't like enough anymore. Like they would have been solid, in 2019 when they had Patrick Beverly, Harrell, Lou Williams, but now like the bench is probably below mediocre. Like they just don't have enough now, and with Paul George out, like I'll be shocked if they stay above 500 until he comes back, which won't be for over a month.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have their moments where they could go off, but I would say they're probably one of the most like inconsistent groups out
Yeah,
there. Like Reggie Jackson played so well in the playoffs last year, and then I think people thought he was going to carry that over this year without Kawhi, and he really hasn't. I mean, he's had stretches like where he's looked like an all-star, and then he looks like just a bum. Like to
yeah,
put it simply. I've never really been. High on Eric Bledsoe ever since probably the Bucks series, like against Boston, like in I think it was 2018. Um, Ever since then, I think he's just not a guy that you can really win with. And then some of these other guys like Kennard, he's incredibly probably inconsistent, I'd say. Marcus Morris, Serge Ibaka, these guys have also been in and out. Like you,
yeah.
you need to have
Serge
like
Ibaka, yeah,
some consistency there, and they just really haven't. People thought Terrence Mann was going to make a big jump, and he's been okay, but probably not the jump you'd hope when you're missing like probably 25 to 30 points in what Kawhi Leonard scores for you every night. Um,
yeah,
and now probably another 25 without Paul George. So, it's kind of tough. Like you said, like this could be like the West is so close right now that this could kind of determine like where they end up at the end of the year. And um, I mean, I don't know. It'll be pretty hard to overcome. Right now they are 17 and 17, which isn't bad. But they're gonna need some like pretty impressive wins if they want to actually have a chance of making the playoffs. And then like if Paul George comes back, if who knows like what the status is with Kawhi if he does come back, then who knows like they'll probably be like a hard team to get out in the playoffs. But
yeah,
without them, like I just don't think they have a realistic chance to even compete for a title, and maybe not even the playoffs. So
yeah. Um, the only good thing for them is really only good for one player, which is Terrence Mann. He's gonna get minutes and he's gonna look like a star in the next month because he's a pretty good player. But all hope isn't lost because the West right now is really top heavy. It's just at the top. I think the only teams that are well above 500 is just the Suns, Warriors, Jazz, and Grizzlies, and then everything else is either right above 500 or below. Like the Nuggets aren't playing as good, the Lakers, the Clippers themselves. So if they stay even below 500 next month, if they could do that, they still keep themselves at the seventh, eighth seed. And if Kawhi and Paul George come back, I don't know how they're gonna look, but they at least gives themselves a small shot heading towards the playoffs. But that's if they stay above or a little bit below 500 next month. I don't even think they're gonna do that.
yeah, I mean, like you said though, like there are teams like we already know Dallas is missing Luca, the Blazers have been
Yeah,
missing CJ, the Lakers have had their struggles and they're missing AD, and then the Timberwolves are missing like everybody right now. Like they're
yeah,
missing like their whole big three. So like there is maybe some optimism there, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't matter if you don't get wins, and it's going to be
yeah,
hard
exactly.
hard to get wins like with this lineup. So, um, but yeah, we can move on, and we could go into uh, everyone's favorite segment, and it is the NBA trivia game. Um, are you excited for the trivia here?
Yeah, I'm nervous. I
Okay.
I don't know how I am with trivia.
It's kind of I would say it's a little bit random, but I don't know. I think you'll do fine. So I'll go over the rules for anyone that's like new watching. So basically, I'm gonna give them 5 questions. Each one has 5 possible hints, and on each question, you get 3 guesses and 2 skips. If you guess it correctly and less hints, you get more points. So say you use one hint and you get it right, you get 5 points. 2 hints, you get it right, 4 points, and then it keeps going down. If you get 3 wrong guesses on a question, then you get 0 for that question. So for those, there's possible 25 points you can get. And then at the very end, there's just a random question about me in the NBA where, there's no hints on that one. It's just kind of like impossible level. You get that right too, and the others, then you have 30 points, which would be insane because nobody's gotten 30 points. But yeah, that's basically it. Are you ready to get into it?
Yeah, we can do it.
All right. So here's the first question and the first hint. Remember, you get 3 guesses and 2 skips on each question. So the first hint is this is a current NBA player that was cut freshman year for his high school basketball team because his mother couldn't drive him to tryouts.
Oh shoot. Is this current?
It's a current player, yeah.
Current. He was cut freshman year because mom couldn't drive him to practice.
To tryouts.
Tryouts. I'm gonna need another hint for that one.
Okay. So the second hint, you get this right, you get 4 points. He won the first ever Kobe Bryant All-Star Game MVP award.
Oh shoot, that was who won it that year? That was like 2 years ago. Who won it that year?
I will say too. I was just going to say
Anthony Davis
in Chicago. Are you guessing AD here?
I don't know. I know he won it at some point. I don't know if it was that year. Let's see, who was in it 2 years ago? I don't remember who won it.
Now you do have another.
Say,
oh wait, I was going to say you do have another skip if you want to use it, but after then you could just guess freely on the rest of this question.
Yeah, I'll say Anthony Davis. I would say that.
It is not Anthony Davis.
Oh, okay. I figure.
So that's the first strike. Here's the third hint. You get this right, you get 3 points. He is the third youngest Finals MVP in NBA history.
Third youngest. Okay.
Third youngest.
I gotta think who won Finals MVP.
And he's a current player too, obviously. So.
Yeah, there's not a lot of All-Stars in that one who even won Finals MVP other than there's LeBron. I don't think LeBron won it 2 years ago.
Are you guessing LeBron here? Or are you gonna
Finals MVP?
The third youngest one ever. And then
LeBron won it.
The Kobe Bryant All-Star Game MVP. That game was in Chicago too, by the way. Like the All-Star game.
Let's see. I don't know who else won Finals MVP in that All-Star game that year. Oh, was it Kawhi?
It is Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, it just hit me last second.
So that's pretty good. You got 3 points on that one. I always put a goal out for my guests, like to aim for 10. So right now you're on pace to get it. So it's pretty good. Let's get into the second question. First hint. This is a former NBA player who once won a $5 bet for spinning a basketball on his finger for an hour.
Oh no, I'm gonna need another hint for that one. Okay. I'll never guess that.
Yeah, that's tough. Okay, so the second hint is this guy has the highest point per game average in the history of college basketball.
Oh, college basketball.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I think it was like 44 points a game, maybe, which that's pretty crazy.
44. It's gotta be an old one.
He is a former player. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Kareem.
It is not Kareem. But
okay.
That's a pretty good guess though. So that's the first strike. Here's the 3-point hint. Now, former college coach Dale Brown conducted a study of every shot that this player took back in his college days, and he claimed that in his prime, in the 3-point era, he would average 57 baskets a game. So I'll kind of break it down. That might have been a lot to take in, but basically, so he kind of didn't play his prime in the 3-point era, but if he did, apparently he would average 57 baskets a game, according to former college coach Dale Brown. So he was a shooter of some kind.
Yeah, okay. So my next guess was gonna be Wilt Chamberlain until you said that part right there. I don't know if this guy played college. I want to say Dr. J.
It is not Dr. J.
Okay.
So that's your second strike. You do have one more skip available, but here's the fourth hint. You get this right, you get 2 points. He is one of 2 players in NBA history to have his jersey retired for 3 NBA teams, along with Wilt Chamberlain. And then he's also one of 2 players to have his jersey retired by a team he never played for, along with Michael Jordan.
Let's see. Damn, that's tough. Was that the last hint?
No, there's another one after. You can skip if you don't know it right now, but
yeah, I'll skip this one.
Okay, so you get this right, you still get a point. This guy was the 1976-1977 NBA scoring champion.
Oh, there's like 2 players I'm thinking of. Was it Wes Unseld? I think him.
Are you guessing Wes Unseld here?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is not Wes Unseld.
Oh, shit.
Who is the other guy you were thinking of though?
I think I want to say George Irvin. I don't think he played then though.
That's also a pretty good guess, but the correct answer was actually Pistol Pete Maravich.
Oh, Pistol Pete. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense right there.
Yeah, that was kind of a tricky one. That probably was the toughest one of the 5. I'm not gonna lie. But okay, so you still got 3 points. Here's the third question. First hint. This is an NBA team that was the 4th professional basketball team to come from their city. Now this includes both NBA and ABA history.
4th to come from their city?
Yes, the 4th to come from their city.
Just the 4th team in general, basically, or
so they're the 4th different franchise to come from their actual city. So
okay.
There was 3 others that were formed before then. Now I think when they were formed, they were the only one active, and they're still an active team. But yeah.
Okay, I just had to make sure I understood that right. He said ABA and NBA.
Including NBA and ABA teams. I will say though, there was one NBA franchise before them from this city, and then 2 of them were ABA.
Or franchise from their city. Yeah, I don't know. This is it's not tough, but I got
Yeah, this might be the toughest 5-point hint, I'll say.
Let's see. I'll skip this one.
Okay, so the second hint, chance at 4 points, is they suffered a loss of 5 first-round draft picks and a $3.5 million fine after signing a player to an illegal contract in 2000.
Is it Philadelphia 76ers?
It is not Philadelphia.
Damn.
So that's strike number 1.
What's that?
The 3-point hint is this team was nearly named the Polars.
Oh, is it Toronto?
Are you guessing the Raptors right now?
Yeah.
It is not the Raptors.
Damn.
So that's 2 strikes. You might get it after this one. I think if not, you'll definitely get it after the final hint. But Here's the 2-point hint. The last time this team won a playoff series was in 2004.
A playoff series, okay.
And they were pretty good that year, I will say.
2004. Oh, is it Pistons?
Are you guessing the Pistons?
Yes.
Unfortunately, it is not the Pistons.
Oh, it's not the Pistons?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the last hint right now. I mean, we'll see if you would have got it. I feel like you would though. They had two chances to draft Steph Curry in 2009, but passed on him for both.
Oh. Oh, it's really the Knicks?
No, it's the
Or
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves.
Yeah, yeah,
Timberwolves.
because the Knicks had the Jordan Hill pick or whatever
Yeah.
after, and they were.
Oh.
Um, but yeah, that was. I'm not gonna lie though, like that 5-point hit probably would have confused me. Like with the
No,
four.
because yeah, because you said 2004, so I'm like, all right, Pistons. That's the last time I remember. Oh no, they won in 2006,
They
not
won.
2004.
They won in 2004, but then they made
But
it
they won. Yeah, they made
in
it again in
2000.
2006,
They made it like yeah the
2005.
next year. But yeah, okay. So you still got 3 points. Here's the fourth hint though. Fourth question, first hint. Now this is a current NBA coach who won a championship as an assistant coach sometime since 2010.
I know a couple. He was an assistant coach.
He was an assistant coach when he won this championship, and it happened sometime since 2010.
Okay. Um, I gotta think of every championship. Damn, no, I don't think it's him. He won a championship as assistant coach, right? That's
Yeah, he won as an assistant coach. That's the only championship he has too as a coach, I will say.
I think I don't remember if he stayed there. It wasn't I'm gonna say Luke Walton with the Warriors.
It is not Luke Walton.
Oh, okay.
So that's strike number one. The 4-point hint is he started his NBA head coaching career with the Timberwolves. So the first time he was a head coach was with Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's one guy I don't know his name. I'm gonna skip.
Okay. The 3-point hint is he made the playoffs for 6 consecutive years in the 2010s decade
As the head coach.
as the head coach. Yeah, I should have said that too, but he was the head coach for 6 consecutive years, made the playoffs in the 2010s.
Okay. Um,
You do
I'm
still have
thinking
an
of Mike
oh,
D'Antoni. But I don't remember him being an assistant coach to a championship team.
you do still have another skip if you want to use it, or you try and go big here for a 3-pointer.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to, but I really want to say Mike D'Antoni. I don't think he was assistant coach to any championship team.
What are we thinking?
Mm, who else? What is Portland's head coach's name? I'm gonna say Mike D'Antoni.
It is not Mike D'Antoni.
That's figured. Okay.
So that's strike number two. Uh, Here's the 2-point hint right now. Despite winning Coach of the Year in 2017-2018, he was awkwardly
Oh,
fired in the offseason.
this is that. What's his name? He was fired 2017, 2018.
He won Coach of the Year that year, and then right after the season, he was fired.
2017, 2018.
So that was the year in the finals when like the Warriors played like the Cavs with just like LeBron basically.
Yeah. One of that year. Oh. Um no, I don't think it was that year. That dude from Toronto. What's his name? This guy is from Toronto. I know I forgot his name. He went to Detroit at some point. Uh what was that coach's name? Yeah, I think I know the answer, but I can't remember the coach's name. I'm pretty sure it was the coach from Toronto that year, but
um
I don't remember his name.
I'm gonna give it to you because you do know like who it is. It was Dwayne Casey.
Dwayne Casey, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I I couldn't think of the freaking name.
yeah. And he still is with the Pistons, as amazing as it is, because
Yeah.
he's been there for what? This is like his fourth year now, and they haven't
Yeah.
haven't really done anything. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so you got 5 points now. If you get a 5 pointer right here, then that would be epic, and you get at least 10 before we get into my final bonus question. So
Yeah.
here we go. Okay, so the fifth question, first hint. This is a current NBA player who was the first person to have 9 or more blocks in a season debut since Nate Thurmond in 1974.
He said it was you said it this season?
No, it wasn't this season, but he is a current NBA player. And in one of his season debuts, he had 9 or more blocks in a game. So it kind of tells you he's probably a big man of some sort.
Yeah. I don't think it's any like big name player. I don't want to skip it. I want like the 5 points.
I will say too, if you get it right, no one's ever gotten a 5 point question right. So you'd make trivia history.
Yeah, in a season debut, right?
Yeah, and he's a current player, um, and he had 9 or more blocks in that game.
I feel like this was like recent or something.
Well, like I said, it wasn't this year, but obviously it
Yeah.
had to be in the past few years if he's like a current player.
I'm gonna just guess it just for a shot of the five. Uh, Rudy Gobert.
It is not Rudy Gobert. That's a pretty good
Okay.
guess though. So that's strike number one. You still could, get some points of some kind. So here's the 4 point hint. He has been teammates with players such as Buddy Hield, Nate Robinson, and Isaiah Thomas throughout his career. Not all at the same time, but over his
Yeah.
career he was. But yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And when did Nate Robinson even retire?
um, he hasn't. I don't even know if he's officially retired, but the last time he played was 2016. 2015, 2016 was the last season he played.
And then the other player was Buddy Hield, Nate Robinson, and who else?
Isaiah Thomas,
Isaiah Thomas. Okay.
and he's a current player, obviously a shot blocker.
Yeah. There's one player I'm thinking of, but I don't think he's played with two of those guys. Let's see who else? Nate Robinson. Yeah. Yeah. I think I want to say DeMarcus Cousins because he's played with Buddy Hield and um, Isaiah Thomas, but I don't know about Nate Robinson. And
You
the
get
other player I want to say is Hassan Whiteside. but I don't think he's played with Nate Robinson either.
You still have your 2 skips available if you want to use them, or again, like
Uh,
go big.
nah, I'm gonna say I'll skip this one.
Okay. So the third hint for 3 points, he was 6'2" in his junior year of high school.
Oh, okay. I think you say he's 6'2".
No,
That would throw
yeah.
all my guesses. Six in junior year of high school.
In his junior year of high school, he's 6'2". So definitely had some wicked gross.
Yeah. Down. Let's see. So he's playing with Buddy Hield, Nate Robinson, and who's the one? Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
I have no clue. I'm gonna throw out Hassan Whiteside. I
It
know he's
is
played with two of them.
it is not Hassan Whiteside.
Okay.
So that's strike number 2. Here's the 2-point hint. He has the third highest PER in NBA history, behind only Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
Oh, I'm thinking of someone else now, but he had third highest.
Third highest ever, like in NBA history for PER.
Yeah, now I want to say Giannis. 'Cause I'm pretty sure he had third highest like last year or 2 years ago. I'm just getting. Is Giannis? I don't think he's ever played with any of them.
It
Oh
is.
no.
Oh, okay. I'll let you change it because I didn't tell you if it was or wasn't.
Someone else came in my head. Shoot, I don't know. Third highest PR play with Buddy Hield, Nate Robinson, and um, who else?
Isaiah Thomas,
Isaiah Thomas.
and he's a shot blocker, and
And he's a current player.
he was shorter in high school. He actually kind of played a different position in high school. But yeah.
Damn, I don't know. The those three players, those throws me off because I don't know who played. I can't remember who played with Nate Robinson that's still playing. I remember the last team Nate Robinson played on.
I would probably tell you, but I think I would give it away. Like,
All right, so he played with. Okay.
you do have a skip available, if you want the final hint, but you know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's got to be some player from the Kings. That's what I'm trying to think of. Just someone from the Kings. I'm gonna skip because I have no clue.
Okay. So the last hint is he was selected first overall in the 2012 NBA draft.
All right, 2012. That was I don't know who. What year was that? Oh no, I don't. It's not Anthony. Anthony Davis was 2012.
Are,
No,
are you guessing AD?
I don't know if AD was 2012 or 2011. Um, I'm gonna say AD. I think it was 2012. I don't know. It's one of those 2 years.
Well, it's a good thing you listen to yourself because it is AD.
Okay. When did he play with Buddy Hield? Because I know Buddy Hield was drafted there, but
he was drafted in New Orleans, and then he was
yeah, he was
traded
drafted.
for
He was traded right
DeMarcus.
away.
He was traded like at the deadline for DeMarcus. Remember at the All-Star
Oh,
game?
okay.
And then Nate
Yeah.
Robinson, he played 2 games with him in his last year. And then Isaiah Thomas on the
Oh,
recent
okay.
10-day, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because the Buddy Hield one threw me off. I'm like, I don't even. I know he was drafted there. I don't even remember him even playing for New Orleans.
Yeah, he played a little bit. But yeah, that because remember like when DeMarcus got like that random call and like it was kind of awkward at the
Yeah.
All-Star game. That's when he went to Sacramento. Um,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, I was like,
That makes sense.
you were so close like with DeMarcus. I was like, oh, like he's probably gonna lean toward AD next or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so you got 6 points right now. If you get the bonus question right, now there's no hints on this one, but if you get the
Mhm.
bonus right, then you end with 11 points. So are you ready for
Okay.
this?
Yeah.
Okay, so the bonus question is the first ever video that I posted onto my YouTube account included what NBA player? Now, I mean, I don't think you would anyways, but if you were to, go back and check my oldest videos, I did private the video before we recorded this. So you can't
If
you can't check
uh,
it. Yeah.
the first player you
The first ever video I posted on my YouTube account included like what NBA player, like who was like the focus basically in it.
yeah, I'm gonna guess a Bulls player. I think it had to have been a Bulls player.
Now this is the impossible level question, so it could be surprising.
There's no hints.
No, I mean, I guess I can tell you I posted it in 2015. So
All right, 2015.
there's a hint there.
Okay, 2015. That was the year when Curry won or Warriors won it.
Indeed it was.
You see, was it when in 2015? Like, well, I can't get hints. Never mind.
Um I think it was the day I made my channel. So I think it was like February something in 2015.
2015. Okay,
I don't remember the exact date, but it was somewhere
I'm just
around
trying. Yeah, I was trying to think of something that happened February 2015. Yeah, I don't know.
there.
Okay, I'm gonna say Derrick Rose.
It's a solid guess, but it is not Derrick
Nah,
Rose.
who was it?
The correct answer was I basically made a whole YouTube like to show off this stupid clip from 2K. I did a dunk in 2K15 with Amari Stoudemire, and it went through, and it didn't
I
count.
was never guessing that.
Yeah,
Amari Stoudemire. Okay, that's interesting.
well, that's why it is the impossible level question.
Mm.
But yeah, like I dunked it in, and then like they didn't count it. Like they just kept playing, so I was like, I gotta record
Yeah.
that or something. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think you did pretty good. I feel
Yeah.
like you
Trivia.
you definitely knew all of them, but it's just a matter of like weird facts. You know what I mean? That's why I always tell
Yeah.
people, like because who's gonna know randomly like the like you probably would have to do research into like the Pete Maravich, spinning the ball on his finger for an hour.
Yeah. I
Bet.
could just guess like people from the 70s, but I don't know exactly what happened each year in the 70s. I would just throw out
Yeah,
names from players I remember then.
yeah. Like some of the stuff is pretty exact, but yeah, I thought the trivia was good. I thought the show was good. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you guys for watching. You got any final thoughts here?
No, that was fun. Definitely would love to do that in the future again. Make sure you guys subscribe to, my channel. Subscribe here as well. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, I'll have a thing that says check description down there so you guys won't forget. Be sure go subscribe to him. He's been posting way more consistently than me. I think you post what 5 to 6 times a week, you say, or something like that.
Yeah, I try to push 6. But right now I'm at 5 right now.
Yeah, so I post a lot of the longer videos. This guy, posts the
Yeah.
short, sweet, to the point videos. So yeah, I mean, definitely go check him out for sure. I thought it was a good show. But yeah, on that note, I think that's all we got for today. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we're out. Peace.